who knows Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Who remembers that book? So DC was partners with Robert Kiyosaki. She is the developer of a series called Money and You, and she's focused on bringing business to the next level in a way that takes care of humanity and the earth. Who would love to discover how to create an economic engine around your life's purpose? An economic engine that empowers you to serve, to bring your gifts into the world in a way that uplifts humanity. Our guest today is Dame Doria DC Cordova. Her and I met years ago when we were both sharing the stage and speaking at an event called CEO Space. Has anyone heard about CEO Space? It brought together all these amazing leaders from around the world to really collaborate and support each other in expansion and in a way that served humanity. Welcome, Doria. It is an honor and a joy to be with you.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm actually at the Tampa airport, and I just wanted to thank you so much for having joined this amazing group. Right there, it tells me that you are committed to something so great.
So I would love to share a little bit about your story. I actually was listening to some of your story, and what a profound journey.
Thank you. I grew up in Chile. Family brought me to Los Angeles from Chile when I was 12 in 1962. And then I had a very tough beginning of life. So when I was 18, a month before my beloved, before we were going to be married, you know, in those days in 1968, you got married at 18, right? And he was killed in a car accident. But honestly, he kind of had prepared me for it. And I've done a lot of work on it, so I can speak about it as a story now. For many years, I couldn't. Sadly, 4 months after he passed on, I lost his baby, which we weren't intimate that much, so it was kind of shocking for me to also be pregnant. So now I have double loss in 4 months, and I almost left this world. Long story, won't go into it, but it was then that I chose to just live. And when I chose to live, my life just really began to open. I had control over nothing except one thing, and that was consciousness, my consciousness, that I had, that was it, that I would spend the rest of my life. And that's what I have been doing. And then the floodgates open. Once you commit at that level, I met Buckminster Fuller within months. I started to discover what my job was, which was to eradicate hunger on planet Earth. I had this genius for logistics, so I can create the most beautiful environments.
I got to pause and say, Sam mentioned that today on the call. He was like, she was always there, and we could just trust. She would just take care of things and have things be taken care of. So that's.
And Mary, Glorfield was running all of Tony's programs. And so when I met
By the
Sam,
way, Mary's been a guest as well. How many of you remember Mary Glorfield was also a guest, who was vice president?
And I remember with Tony, what Sam said that is because I actually gave Tony a very big gift of one of my main games from Money and You. And then Sam goes, well, how are we going to do this? I said, well, I'll just train your people. So I trained like 100 volunteers. And it was interesting because Tony actually shifted the focus of the game, so it doesn't even compete. See, this is how spirit works. It like my team was so upset that I was giving Tony Robbins, even though he wasn't as big then, this is 1994, as big as he is now. And I said, trust it. I really want Tony to have this game because it's really opening up a lot of people's hearts, a lot of people's consciousness. So collaboration is in my DNA now.
Did you all really catch that point? That it's not competition, it's collaboration. That there's no fear of this sense of competing, that we're all in here for a grander purpose. So that's a distinction there in success. There's a lot of distinctions in what Doria has shared. So one point is the environment. So she recognized she was in an environment that wasn't serving her purpose, wasn't serving her evolution. And intuitively, she just says, I'm going to Hawaii. And in that space, there was a awakening that happened. So one thing that I can totally relate to is switching an environment. If you're in a space where you feel like that you're not progressing or that the momentum isn't happening, one of the fastest ways of transformation is moving into a different environment. I remember in the early stages for me, I'd put myself in environments when I was in my teens that called forth more in me than I even realized I had at the time. So one was the shift in environment. The other word that she used, who caught it, was commit. that when you commit, that something happens. I just wanted to highlight those really essential pieces that were foundational to the expansion of the great work you're bringing in the world.
Thank you. I had a vision, and this is really important for all of us to understand, is that when our mind has only a certain size, a certain vision, we only see ourselves in that picture. So when I was 17 years old, I had a vision that I was in a big place that looked like the United Nations. So when I went to college, I decided to take on languages because I thought I was going to be an interpreter. Little did I know that I was going to end up just about being an ambassador. I was knighted by a beautiful organization, and we have 5 seats in the United Nations. But I didn't get knighted until 2010. So I saw the vision in 1967. And it is always going to be scary, you guys. Please don't think that, oh, I'm going to just step into that opportunity. Even today, at my age, when I'm asked to step into certain opportunities, whatever deservability, if somebody recommends something that's going to make my company $100 million net in the next 10 years, whatever aspect of me is not ready to have that kind of level of success will kick in. Fear doesn't just show up and goes, I'm fearful. It comes up in all kinds of different emotions that usually guide us to stepping out of that space, that has us run away and has us leave situations. And yes, there are times when you should leave situations, no question about it. But never ever make a major decision when you are emotional. You have to sober up. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's such a great, go for a walk, shift your state. And what you're talking about is that fear is often the subconscious mind that's trying to protect us. It's trying to keep us safe. There's like almost like this ceiling that's like, oh, you're safe over here. So those moments of fear, sometimes, like you said, sometimes it's a no, but sometimes it's a defining moment. It's a moment between where you are now and the quantum leap of that next stage of whatever is your journey, your results, your evolution, your contribution. When the vision is small, you only see yourself in it. That's like a mind blower, because as we come into the expansion of the vision, we begin to recognize, hey, the same life force that's beating your heart's beating my heart, right? The same life force breathing you is breathing me. And then we come into a completely different level of awareness and igniting in our purpose. So how does someone really recognize at what level is my vision right now? And if it's a little too small where it's, only containing me, what can they begin to do to expand that vision and really tune into their unique
Well, there's nothing for them to think through because we can't see it. What you have to do is take action. You just take action and start moving towards it, and then you will begin to grow with it as you take action. See, the thing that's so interesting about the mind and the wiring that we have, depending on where you come from, most of us are middle class. There's very few people that are rich, that grew up rich. Very few people in the number of people on the planet. So if you have a goal, very few. So if you have a vision that you want to create wealth while doing good, it sounds really good. Who wouldn't want to create wealth and do good, right? And this is another reason for becoming wealthy, because you want to create an economic engine. You want to create wealth so that you have the ability to be able to get up and go and have the finances. It may not even be to buy that big house and to buy the Lamborghini and for you to travel first class all the time. It just may be for you to have enough funds for you to go and discover what it is that you were meant to do, for you to maybe travel, to go volunteer. If you have somebody that you love, that you would like to be with them and learn from them, you may want to say, hey, I want to come work for you and you don't have to pay me. I have my own money. I can take care of myself, but I want to learn from you, because if I work with you, you are going to be my bachelor's degree. You're going to be my PhD in that area, because you have gotten there and I want to learn from you. I anchor that. There isn't enough money to pay to take away the loss, because there isn't. But what there is, which is worth a lot more, is consciousness. I want you all to take a deep breath, and I want you to write it down on the actual chat. I choose consciousness no matter what gets in the way. Now, I usually don't talk like this to all groups, but I know where I am. And that is what is meant for me to say.
Consciousness awareness, an expanded awareness, capacity to notice, pure presence.
I am pretty brilliant about business, but I have to tell you that it's been decades that I'm just putting one foot in front of the other.
What a dynamic, powerful journey and story, Doria. She talked about building up deservability. That is a profound idea, because a lot of times people want something in life, but they haven't really developed the capacity to receive. And what would you say that can support them in building up deservability, expanding capacity to receive?
But what is so interesting is that consciousness, spirit, wants you to be wealthy. I want you to hear this. It wants you to be wealthy.
I just got God bumps when you said that. Every hair on my body stood up. Confirmation.
Absolutely. And the thing is that there are so many books, there's so many programs, there's so many things out there that teach you exactly how to be wealthy, how to be rich. And why aren't you? It's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that we need to retweak that programming, and we need to give you new distinctions.
What Doria is talking about is beliefs. These are beliefs that are often unconscious that we have around money and don't even realize it, that are capping the capacity of what someone is able to create, accomplish, receive. So this is awesome timing, because many of you know that we have coming up a program on transforming limiting beliefs into inspired action. So do you want us to give you something to share?
You know, Spirit brought us together. Oh my God, you are so lucky, so blessed to be with her. I mean, I just love this woman because she's pure action and wrapped around consciousness and rewiring. You know, she's this beautiful divine goddess that's in the back redoing everybody's wiring. They're going like this. And it's so fun and easy the way that you do it, because that you're living your purpose, right? And that's people are attracted to that. And congratulations for being here, because I know what Yurga does and I know what her work does. So now when you begin to create that economic engine, you now begin to understand, oh, I have to excel at what I do.
All these beautiful nuggets. Please share in the chats in just one or two words, the inspiration, the energy, the frequency, where you are in light of this inspiring and empowering conversation. I encourage each and every one of you, as soon as we hop off, go follow Doria on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the channels. We're going to be posting a few highlights from this session, so we encourage you to come on to those channels and give some hearts and comments. I'm going to be personally in the chats, and I can't wait to connect with you and hear your experience in this awesome session. And we're going to continue the conversation going. I might even fly out to California to come see you. What do you think? And we do that podcast in person. We do it on the beach. What do you think?
As long as we have the right light.
As long as we have the right light. Okay, well, with deep love in our hearts, everyone give some final thoughts, gratitude to Doria in the comments. And with so much love, thank you for being here with us and being our special guest. Infinite gratitude.
Aloha, everyone. Aloha.
Aloha. All right, everyone. The team will stick around if you have any questions about upcoming courses, free events, things that we have happening in our community. Stick around. Lots of love. We have an amazing breakout session happening next week. Make sure to show up and play full out. Make sure you're inked on the calendar for the 1st and 2nd, because it's going to be a lot of fun. I love you all, and I will see you soon. God bless.